What is going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about something that I didn't think I was going to talk about on the channel, but I feel like it is important to discuss these types of things, and it's weird as to what it's pertaining to, but today I'm going to be talking about the new Disney Plus original series Baymax that just launched recently. So if you're unfamiliar, Baymax is a character from the Disney film Big Hero 6, and when it was first released, I really loved it. I thought it was adorable. I loved the world that was created. I thought all the characters were really interesting. And so when this show was announced, I was really excited to just watch it. Disney Plus has been doing these little fun, tiny segment shows. They did one about Up not too long ago, which I absolutely loved. And they're just these really cute little vignettes surrounding these characters that people want to see an expansion of the world on. And I really respect Disney for putting some money into that so that people can, have more time to spend with these characters, understand that world a little more than just like a sequel being mashed up. And having these little 10-minute episodes really works out well. So in this series, you're dropped into where it's really just surrounding Baymax in particular. The rest of our characters like Hero's aunt that he lives with, and all of these other people you're familiar with in the show are kind of in the background, and each episode is Baymax finding different people who need his help. And there's these really beautiful emotional episodes that are 10 minutes in length that kind of deliver these gut punches that Disney does such a great job with. But one of the reasons why I wanted to watch this show so soon is I saw in the news recently our world kind of collapsing around us and all the garbage that's happening, just really terrible things that are occurring. On top of all that, I read an article about conservatives being in an uproar about the fact that one of these Baymax episodes has Baymax going to purchase tampons, and there is a transgender man who's purchasing tampons, and the conservative community is losing their mind about it. And it makes me laugh because the things that conservatives get upset with in the world are just the dumbest things humanly possible. And so I was really excited to watch this just to see what kind of boundaries that Disney would push, because I feel like they're always teetering a line. As someone who really loves Disney movies, and I go to the Disney parks, and despite the fact that I don't think Disney always does the best thing, it's been a huge part of my life since I was a kid, and I still really enjoy the material they put out. So like I mentioned recently when I talked about Lightyear, there was a lesbian character included, and I didn't think that they dived into it enough. I feel like they're afraid to kind of fully jump with both feet into that. But I will say with this Baymax TV show, it seemed like they were more willing to kind of dive even further into it, because it's not a movie that's being released and that they're worried about this multi-million-dollar budget going to waste if like China won't show the movie. This is being put on their streaming service, and I feel like they're willing to take more of a risk, and I was really happy to see that, because this episode in particular, each episode is like a different vignette. Like the first episode, Aunt Cass hurts her ankle in the cafe that she works at, so Baymax is trying to make her rest while he runs the cafe, and it's just this really simple little story, and it's really well done. And then there's an episode about this older woman who is afraid to go swimming, and she's afraid of water, and so Baymax is trying to get her to overcome her fear. And when you kind of find out why she has that fear, it's this really beautiful and layered emotional story about romance. Well, then you jump into the story about this young girl who is like doing this yo-yo competition, and while she's at school she has her period, and she's not prepared for it, and it's the first one that she's had. And so Baymax is like, hang on, I'll go get you whatever you need. And so he goes to the pharmacy, and it's this really great scene of him looking, and he doesn't know what to get, and all these people in the pharmacy aisle are like, I use this, I use that, I use this. And that's when the transgender man shows up and makes one little passing remark of like, well, I use this kind. It's a really great episode. I know the film Turning Red, which I talked about a while ago, and it wasn't my favorite Disney movie, but one of the things that I liked, the element of a woman having a period was introduced, and it was talked about in a way that wasn't like demonizing it or looking on it in a negative way. And that's what I loved. They centered an entire episode on the concept of a woman having their period. And what really kind of boggles my mind about why conservatives get so upset about this stuff is it's a part of life. If you are an AFAB person, an assigned female at birth person, you're going to have a period for at least a period of your life. And so teaching kids when they're younger about what this is and how it is a bodily function and why it occurs is important. It's important to teach your kids, because what's the point of hiding something from them for their whole lives that they're going to have to discover, especially if they're an AFAB person at some point in their life. And doing it in this way that is so like accepting and making it not embarrassing will make these people feel less embarrassed in their life that they have to go through it. And I thought that it was so beautifully done, and it was really well executed for a little 10-minute episode about something as simple as a person having their first period and wanting to continue to do things in life and being worried that because of this thing that happens to AFAB people is going to like prevent them from being able to do what they want at this just small segment of time. It was handled so well, and I was glad that Disney did a whole episode, and despite uproar, I hope Disney continues to do that. And then what I thought was so interesting was in the very next episode, you had this plot arc of this guy who was running this seafood cart that his parents had had for a really long time, and he was allergic to seafood, and he started breaking out into a rash. And it's implied through the episode that he's gay. He is hitting on this guy and tries to ask him out on a date, and it's done so incredibly casually and just like, hey, this is life. And one of the things I love being a member of the queer community is like when LGBTQ relationships are portrayed in media, I love when it's done in a way that it's not like, oh, do you notice that these people are gay? And like that there's all this like talking about it where it's just perceived as normal. And that's what the queer community needs, is that gay characters in films are just seen as normal because they are just normal people. And so seeing that in that episode really made me smile and was like, I hope Disney will do more like this, because there are so many wonderful queer people in this world who are not represented at all in media or in anything. And so knowing that this small segment of a bigger property is bringing in these characters, and films like Lightyear are portraying gay characters, it's exciting, and I'm hoping in the future that we get even more of that representation. And this show, despite having those themes and being really great and progressive and doing things in the right way, it's just really funny and it's adorable. And I love Baymax's character. I love how he's just kind of this vessel to make these things happen and kind of tells these beautiful stories, but he also has that really great sense of humor because he's just kind of a robot that is trying to take care of people. All of the funny things that happen with him are circumstantial, and this show is just really fun. It's a really great watch, and if you have a Disney Plus subscription, I sat down and watched it in like a couple hours. It's even less than that. It's like 10-minute episodes, and there's 6 of them, so about an hour of your time, and it's totally 100% worth it. So have you seen Baymax? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this was such a fun show, and it did a lot of great things, which in the times that we're living in now, I think are super important. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.